Lots of USA in the house now. Who is supporting Netherlands? Lots of Netherlands in the house tonight as well. Now, this is how you get involved. We want you to let everybody around the world know that you are the lucky one sitting here in the North Greenwich Arena. Who's got a phone for them? If you've got a phone, get your phone out. All you kids out there as well, get your phone. I know you've got your phones there. Get your phones out, get your phone ready. And who's on Twitter? Are you on Twitter? Oh dear. You're on Twitter. You need to get on it. Who's on Twitter? Right, there you go. Right, what we need you to do, we need you to let them tweet and let the whole world know. At SPP033. Right up there on the big screen. At SPP033. And let everybody know that you're in the best place to be. If you have got a birthday, it's your anniversary, you've just got engaged, you just want to shout out to your mum and dad for bringing you here, that's where you do it, at SPP033. Also, later on, we're going to have a couple of competitions right there on the court. If you want to take part in a competition, you need to tweet us and let us know where you're sitting, what block you're in, what row you're in, and what seat you are sitting in. So that's how you get in touch with us. We'll come and find you and we'll make your dreams come true right here tonight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned before about the videos that we've got about wheelchair basketball. The next video is going to tell us about the tournament format, the number of teams, and really, really very important information about the equipment that the ladies will be using tonight.
Wheelchair basketball, the tournament. A total of 22 teams compete for 2 gold medals. 12 teams in the men's event, and 10 teams in the women's event. In both events, teams are divided into 2 pools and compete in a round-robin format to decide the quarter-finalists, after which a knockout phase decides who contests the final. Each game consists of 4 periods of 10 minutes. Extra periods of 5 minutes are played if scores are tied at the end of regular time. Wheelchair basketball equipment. The wheelchairs used for basketball have evolved rapidly in the last 10 years into the lightweight, easy-to-maneuver titanium chairs used today. The chair is comprised of 2 or 3 small wheels at the front and back. The 2 larger wheels sit outward at start to ensure balance and stability. The seat can be no higher than 21 inches and must include footrest at least 5 inches off the floor. Players are strapped into the chair, so any slight body turn will see the wheelchair react with you to help achieve maximum agility. This is a fast and frenetic sport requiring good hand-eye coordination and stamina. It's time to shoot some moves.
So there you go, a bit more information about wheelchair basketball. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to help you warm up your vocal cords, we have come up with some nice, lovely exercises which are going to help you do that. Right now, in the North Greenwich Arena, we are going to have a sing-song, alright? We're going to have a sing-along, get you lot all ready to start cheering on your team, no matter what team it is that you are supporting. As we know, the games this summer have been held in Britain. And Britain have got great heritage with regards to music. We've got some great groups and some great bands. So what we're going to do now, we're going to have a sing-song with a couple of those wonderful bands that the British music industry has thrown out there for you. So, the first band that we are going to get you lot to sing with, have we got any Oasis fans here? Anybody like Oasis? Uh-oh, got big Oasis fans here as well. Actually here, one of the Gallaghers is in this building tonight, alright? So I want you lot to sing his record better than he can even sing his record. DJ, run the track! Come on now, get your hands up in the air, I'm live and singing, come on now, here we go, here we go!
Hi, welcome to Newsbreak. This is the news for today.
Britain's sprinter Johnny Peacock is dominating the headlines at London 2012 after storming to gold in the 100 metres T44. The defending champion Oscar Pistorius only came fourth in the race. The South African was gracious in defeat, despite already losing his 200 metres crown to Brazil's Alan Oliveira, and now can only retain his 400 metres title.
Oh man, you want to get a gold. You know, you never go out there in a final to get anything but a gold. I was very realistic about this week, and I said, you know, if I can finish in the top 3, I'll be really happy. I didn't finish in the top 3, and I think there's a slight bit of disappointment in my heart, but I've seen the sport grow, and I think I can appreciate that immediately. You know, I've seen an amazing performance tonight. I ran one of my season's bests. The 100 is just not my event, but to watch Johnny Peacock run the time he did, unbelievable. To watch my roommate Anu Furi beat me on the line for a 3rd place makes me happy. He's been such a sense of support for me over the last 6 years, and the sport is growing. And you know, I ran a world record in the 200, hoping to run a world record in the 400 on Sunday, and this Paralympics has been great for me so far. I think the people that were out here tonight witnessed the beginning of a remarkable career of Johnny's. He's a professional athlete. He really does his best. He really conducts himself. I don't know how he dealt with the pressure that he's been under. To stand up and do what he did was remarkable. I've got a lot of respect for him, and he's got many, many years ahead of him. And if he carries on the way that he does with the guidance that he's got, man, I'm sure many people, including myself, will be inspired by him.
Women's wheelchair tennis, and for the 4th consecutive Paralympic Games, Esther Vergeer has taken the singles gold medal. The Dutch player took her winning streak to an incredible 470 matches, beating compatriot and world number 2 Anneke van Koot 6-love, 6-3 in the final. Vergeer has been number 1 since 1999, and her new title confirms her status as one of the most dominant players in professional sports. Now, the much anticipated wheelchair rugby competition is now underway at London 2012. Australia have made it through to the semi-finals after beating Belgium 58-43. We managed to get a few minutes with one of the world's most famous players.
Can you say you are an adrenaline junkie? Because I could tell you actually look for this contact and one-to-one play.
Yeah, definitely. It's part of my game. I want the adrenaline. If I don't have adrenaline, I don't play well. And it's taken me actually 10 years to learn how to use adrenaline for safe passes and all that. You know, it's hard using your adrenaline when you're passing and all that, because sometimes you just launch it or stuff something up. So I finally learned how to use adrenaline. The team's playing fantastic, and we're just having the best time at the moment.
Well, many of the people that are here, it's their first time watching this game. And how do you feel when you hear them cheering?
To be honest, I don't. No offense to the fans, but I don't hear them. That's just the zone I get in. It's just tunnel vision. You know, don't listen to anything except for what's on court. And it's absolutely amazing how much I don't hear them until we jump off the court. But in the back of my head, I guess I do hear them, and that's what's driving my adrenaline and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, GB's done a fantastic job getting the crowds in and all that kind of stuff. So they appreciate it.
The sport is so aggressive, it's also known as murder ball, and the fans love it.
First time I've seen the sport, absolutely awesome. Those guys are lunatics.
I recommend my friends to see this sport because it's really aggressive and it really looks fun.
I guess I was expecting it to be more like rugby, because we watch a lot of rugby in Wales. So the rules are quite different to rugby.
It's weird not having the posts where they can't kick it over the post anymore because they're in wheelchairs, so it's quite a bit different from normal rugby.
Definitely recommend people go and see it. I'm not sure I'd recommend they take part in it though.
To the XL Arena for wheelchair fencing, and Poland's Grzegorz Pluta won the gold in the men's individual sabre category B, defeating Marc-André Cater of France 15-8. After his victory, the 37-year-old was naturally delighted.
Czuję się zwycięzcą, czuję się rewelacyjnie. I feel like a winner. That's what I've been training all along, and I've been sweating and working just to experience all this. I feel sensational. I don't feel tired at all. My muscles don't hurt. I just feel pure euphoria.
No i tam wszystko było zrobione, że tak powiem, bardzo wyniośle.
What's really unique about London is that wherever you go, you just encounter people who smile, you just see smiley faces, and so everyone, all the people have been absolutely fantastic.
Fajnie, naprawdę atmosfera jest rewelacyjna.
Thank you. See you on the next news break.
And tonight is the night when the medals will be decided in the women's wheelchair basketball. The United States of America have celebrated gold medal success in the last two Paralympic Games in Athens and Beijing. But tonight, the best they can do is the bronze, having lost their dramatic semi-final against Australia 40-39 last night. Facing them are the Dutch, looking for their first Paralympic medal since Atlanta back in 1996, led by their coach Gert van der Linden, a real legend of wheelchair basketball, both as a player and now a coach. They were beaten in their semi-final by Germany, another dramatic one, 49-46. And Dave Kiley will now hope his team can lift themselves following their loss to at least take some sort of medal back home from London 2012. Alongside me is Nate Williams, and Nate, it will be very interesting to see how the Americans react, because they're a team of winners. They're used to winning gold. Now they're going for bronze.
Exactly, Nigel. I mean, I watched them in the quarter-final against Canada. They went down 11 points in the first. I think their defense was a bit wrong. They put a three-man press on with two hanging back. And what the problem with that is you get an early pick and then you get an advantage, a one-man advantage. But with Murray and Desi Miller on, they can work the high pick and roll. I think that worked well for them in the quarter-final. And also second chance points, big rebounds, putting them back in. That's what's key for the Americans here.
And what about the Dutch? They're a team who perform well in this tournament. Of course, they started with that big win against Great Britain. They lost to Australia, another tight one in the group phase, and in the end, they just found it so difficult against Germany. Germany have got the big game players who just came to the fore, but it was so close in the end.
Yeah, they've got some quality players, the Germans. Nika Zayens had a fantastic tournament, so has Monin, and they just couldn't keep them out, and they couldn't stop the early outside shot. As you see there from Murray, she's got a fantastic outside shot as well.
Well, the gold medal game coming up following this one, Australia against Germany. But first of all, it's the battle for bronze, and Rebecca Murray has given the US an early lead here. And the Dutch unable to respond initially. The defensive rebound picked up by Schneider. And here is Murray again, who's been one of the stars of the tournament at the age of 22. I think she was thinking about the three-pointer there. But the Dutch cover now forces her inside. And in the end, the shot rattles around the ring from Alana Nichols. And the Dutch wearing orange, playing from left to right in this first quarter. The first of 4 10-minute quarters. And if we're level, as we were earlier on today in one of the men's games between Turkey and Spain, then we will go to 5 minutes overtime.
Yeah, great to see an early start from Alana Nichols. You will find her free at the top quite often. Great picker, Alana Nichols. She was one of the reasons the USA came back against Canada in the quarterfinals. And also Schneider, very dominant presence in the paint.
But here come the Dutch moving forward inside the paint, and they respond. Inge Housing.
No cover there at all, just rolls straight through, undetected. No communication from the USA defense.
And now Desi Miller. Schneider back to the top of the paint when Miller is there and scores without any problem. And this game does have the potential to go all the way. Two sides who are very well matched up, scoring around 57, 58 points a game on average and conceding 45 or 46. They've got very similar records throughout the tournament.
4-2 across 6 games. Like you said earlier on, USA very unlucky in their previous game, losing by 1 point.
And here is Murray going for 3, but not on this occasion. Roos Oosterbaan with the defensive rebound for the Dutch. But the whistle goes. And the Americans will recover possession here. And it's Murray who's been very busy around the arc in the opening 3 minutes or so. Looking for support inside and finds it from Schneider. The offensive rebound.
Right, second chance points, as I said earlier. That's what will help with big rebounder Schneider. Interesting, Murray, she worked with Desi Miller on the high pick and roll in the quarter-final, but she's chose to work with Schneider for more effective finishing.
And the Dutch had a player in there, but she wasn't spotted by Oosterbaan. It was Bayer who was unchecked inside the paint, but it doesn't matter anyway because Bayer scores. And that's a good take from Schneider. And both teams, a nervous start from them, indicated in the rather low possession of field goal conversion. But here's Nichols. And that's an excellent finish again from Murray. A great touch around the net.
Yeah, great touch from Murray. When she gets going, she hardly ever misses. Great stroke from her.
And now Housing. The Dutch qualified for this tournament after finishing 5th at the World Championships in Birmingham 2 years ago. Looking for their first Olympic medal since a silver in Atlanta. And they've also picked up 2 bronzes previously in Seoul in 1988 and 4 years later in Barcelona. And the Americans just about favourites for this game. And they seem to have recovered their poise following the problems they had last night as they open up a 6-point lead, and it's Schneider again.
Very confident start from the Americans, particularly on the outside shots. But they've got to step up their defense. That was too easy.
Not for the first time. Oosterbaan finding plenty of space. She got the wrong side of Murray there, but Murray may be wondering where the cover was behind her.
Yeah, communication is key in defense. Sometimes you're so focused on the man in front of you, you need to know what's happening behind you.
And here's Murray again. He's done much of her best work going forward so far. But this will be turned over. That buzzer means the 25 seconds of possession has come to an end. There's an American also down inside the central area of the court.
Yeah, good high pressure from the Dutch, forcing them to move the ball around, find the option, but they couldn't find it that time, the Americans.
And here's Huizing, one of their 4.5 players, who is considered to have the lowest level of physical impairment, and she brings them back again to within 2 points. And a coach can only have 14 points on the court at any one time, and the players are classified between 1 and 4.5, so They often mix and match to get the right sort of blend and also stay within that 14-point limit. Schneider. And Murray is a 2.5 as the buzzer goes again. But the shot was got away in time by Alana Nichols. And that was right on the final tenths of a second there. But as long as the ball leaves the hand before the buzzer, that's okay. Huizing now. Support from Korver, the captain, who's now on the court. And the Dutch winding down their possession. But Huizing comes through, and she does it as well.
On the buzzer. Cool as you like.
I'm sure these players are like quarterbacks in American football at times. They have their own clock going in their heads as well.
Yeah, your brain's ticking all the time because you've got to count the seconds. You're allowed 3 seconds in the key, 8 seconds to get over the halfway, 24 seconds to shoot. Your brain's a constant ticker. But the Dutch will look for key players like Huizing, Korver running up the floor, Oosterbaan. That experience will help them.
And Woodson-Smith coming into the game now for the Americans. A reminder, you can watch the gold medal game on Paralympic.org later on this evening. Murray for 3 points, not this time. Also talk about these games on Facebook.com/Paralympic Games or on Twitter @Paralympic. And there's a chance there for the Dutch to set themselves, and it's Bayer, and they're level.
Good hustle by Korver to pick up the loose ball, flick it back over her head, not knowing where it's going.
And there she is again, and there's no cover again, and Huizing is there to put the Dutch into the lead.
Good look from Korver, she's got eyes in the back of her head.
And that's a 6-point swing.
Great vision from Korver.
And a timeout called by the Americans.
And rightly so, they've got to sort out this defence, Nigel.
6 unanswered points there from the Dutch.
Mainly from free layups.
So Gert van der Linden is a man who never settles for second best, and he will want his team to push on here. The Americans have not failed to medal since 2000 in Sydney. Back-to-back gold medals since then. They've also won silver in Barcelona and 3 bronzes at home in Atlanta in '96, in Arnhem in Holland when the games were held there in 1980, and also in Tel Aviv in Israel in 1968. And Huizing already has 8 points for the Dutch. And as you said, most of them have come unchecked deep inside the key. Desi Miller. And now Woodson-Smith. And she brings them back level.
Great patience from Desi Miller. She had a tight screen there, so she could have took the shot herself, but waited for her teammate to come in the paint for the better option, the closer shot.
And now Huizing. And out in front again, there was time there for Korver, but she doesn't take the opportunity. And Rebecca Murray can bring the ball away again. And she's got the experience of Andrea Woodson-Smith alongside her now, but Murray goes for it herself and misses, and Dave Kiley won't be happy about that because there was time there. Huizing. And now Korver. Shot clock winding down here, and pressure from Murray on Huizing, but she takes her time, but not this time. Gert van der Linden, how much of a legend is he in wheelchair basketball?
Oh, Gert van der Linden, one of my favourite players, I might add. I watched him in Athens against GB in the bronze medal game. Absolutely fantastic chair control and movement of the ball. He's great at his tactics. Mastermind of the game, Gert van der Linden.
As the Americans retake the lead, Desi Miller found there by Woodson Smith. And the fast break made by the Americans. And the whistle goes again.
And one on the foul.
The foul there committed on Bayer. The personal foul, the first one for Jennifer Chu. And the bonus point here potentially for the Dutch as well. But not taken, and that's well gathered by Murray. That's heads-up play to pick up the defensive rebound. As the first quarter rushes to a close here. Woodson, Nichols hung around on the ring for a long time.
Heartbreaking, that is, heartbreaking. Free layup, just rolls out, doesn't roll your way.
Poising now. And she's got Bayer in support. And the Americans pick up the defensive rebound. Nichols, as the first quarter comes to an end. And nothing between these sides at all on the scoreboard, and not really in open play as well.
Well, I feel the Americans, they should be ahead here. It's just easy points for the Netherlands. If they didn't have those easy points and they kept them out, kept them tight, then I feel the United States should be slightly ahead. But great play from the Dutch, great vision from Korver to convert those, to see those easy points, and the Netherlands have punished them.
And the Netherlands, 8 for 18 so far, field goal conversion, that's 44%. And they've missed the only free throw, which was tacked on to that basket from Bayer. And the Americans, 50%, 8 for 16. And they've had 2 goes at the three-pointers. Rebecca Murray not successful on either occasion. Just confirmation of that. And the Dutch will get the second quarter underway. And it's their captain, Cher Korver. Andrea Woodson-Smith remains on the court for the Americans. She stopped playing able-bodied sport after discovering she had arthritis, but now she teaches adaptive education courses for those with physical impairments to help enjoy sport, and she's a great role model.
Yeah, great model, Woodson-Smith, using her knowledge of the game to pass on to others. It's always great to see in a player. Inspire a generation is the game's tagline, and that's an example of it.
Well, she's been doing that for some time. I think she was the player with the block there as well to prevent Mariska Bayer scoring the opening basket of the second quarter. And coming into the game now is Carolina de Rouge. And she was an artistic gymnast for the Dutch national side before taking up wheelchair basketball following an injury during training. Nichols. She hung that pass up and Murray tried to gather, but Murray was the one who was being infringed there by Korver. In fact, it was Visser. And there we are, another fine basket there from Rebecca Murray, 6 points for her.
Yeah, she's certainly on fire early in this game. certainly wants to finish strong with the bronze medal. The intention is clear.
De Rouge and Visser. And back out towards Huizing again, and what a shot that is.
That had some spin on it, straight through the net. Swish is the sound it made throughout the North Greenwich Arena. Every basketball player loved that sound.
Not too many of them using the backboard so far. The finishing's been that good. And here's Huizing again. Visser. And back out in front. It's missed this time by Bayer. And there's time and space. And it's taken.
Miller hits back. She has range as well.
It's a very high tempo to this game, and the Dutch are straight back. Huizing again, and she's at the heart of much of their good work. The only player in double figures so far on either side.
This is a great game for the neutral basketball fan. Blow for blow, point for point. No, they're literally cancelling each other out almost.
And the Americans making some changes. Jennifer Poist coming in for Jennifer Chu. Murray, I think she was eyeing up the three-pointer there.
Nah, that was a fake. She wanted to create space for Miller, but it was well covered by the Dutch defence.
Now Nichols. Murray again.
Great dish.
And Poist unable to make the basket. And the Dutch will come away with the ball. The offensive foul there for Alana Nichols. Her first. Huizing. Inside the paint and into the basket. And the two number fours are running the game at the moment.
Yeah, point guard runs the game, finding the options.
Poist unable to take the ball with her there.
Converting the points themselves, but also looking for the inside man, which is what you need in a quality point guard at this level.
And that's picked up well inside the paint by Bayer, but she can't convert it. And it was Murray there, a rare handling error from her under pressure. And it's Alana Nichols who caught her. And so for the first time, the Dutch will have 2 attempts from the line. And Nichols will need to be careful on 2 fouls already.
And the USA won't want that. She's an integral part of this team. As I said, great picker in the Canada game, creating numerous points for the forwards, particularly Natalie Schneider.
And here's the 16-year-old, Rose Holloman. Nichols, given away though, straight to Bayer.
I think Nichols is fast enough to cover. Can she get a challenge?
No, she can't. It's a 3-point lead for the Netherlands.
Great shot there. Under pressure from the sprinting back Nichols after her mistake. But adds the 2 points.
And Nichols, having turned the ball over, can't recover her error. And the Dutch have the ball back straight away. And it's Huizing. She's finding plenty of joy, drifting away to the right, just like that.
Great double screen on the near side there. They know Inga Hutzing is stroking some beautiful shots in, so they felt the best option was to get a double screen so she had space and time to shoot. But here's the Americans on the attack now.
Murray Recovered by Nichols. And the whistle goes. But the Dutch here have scored 7 points in a row. To turn the game around and take a 5-point lead, but early days. Murray. He gives the ball away. And Bayer will look to get the Dutch moving again. That's Hoitzing.
Found the gap, gets the foul.
Holloman all over her back.
Poor discipline from Holloman there. Just couldn't get in front of her in time, clips her instead.
And Hoitzing already has 14 points, can now make it 16 and give the Dutch a 7-point lead. As a timeout is called by the USA, Dave Kiley just giving her time to think about things. Well, the coaches are drowned out there, but we heard Dave Kiley say, let's take a deep breath and start playing basketball again.
Patience is key for the Americans here. They want to move the ball around. They want to try and stop the Dutch as early as they can up the floor, maybe a half-court press. But you feel a tight zone is really needed there. 3 up top, 2 down low. Keeping an eye on their big forwards, the Dutch.
Schneider coming back on the court for Poist for the Americans. But before they get their hands on the ball, Hoitzing will have 2 attempts here. And she nails the first. And the second eventually. 9 points in a row for Holland.
Most of them coming from Hoitzing.
She now has 16 points in the game. Schneider. The Americans not generating a huge amount offensively at the moment. Miller. Murray inside. And Sarah Binsfield can't convert. And it's turned over again.
She couldn't get it over that oncoming hand there.
And that's a great pass. But Schneider is there to recover. Sarah Binsfield now back on the court, born in South Korea, but subsequently adopted by American parents, along with her brothers and sisters. Here's Murray.
She got it. Shoot it.
No time to move there for Murray at all. She was completely boxed in.
Needed help from Murray there. She needed help. Nobody came over.
Hoitzing. And they're inside the paint again. And Oosterban is unchecked almost every single time. And Bayer draws the foul from Schneider. Just clipping her arm, which will always lead to a foul. And the Dutch come away with something.
Dutch have opted for a full court press, but now back in the zone.
Schneider.
And it worked, forcing the poor option pass.
And the Dutch have outscored the Americans 12-4 so far in this quarter, including the last 10 points. Shot clock wound down again for the Americans. Murray goes for it. No. Binsfield with the rebound. No.
I feel Binsfield, she's not very confident down there, so if you got a new 24 seconds, why not work it around? Try and find another option.
And the Dutch call a timeout. And at the moment, they are in complete control of this game. They've shut the Americans down very comprehensively. 3:42 to play. And the Americans have not scored a point now for nearly 5 minutes.
It's mainly down to the good chair-to-chair defence from the Netherlands, forcing the Americans up high around that arc, nowhere near the paint, which is the danger area if Natalie Schneider or Desi Miller gets in there. Because if you look at the Dutch compared to the Americans, they haven't got a lot of height because of the point system. Remember, you've got 14 points, and they can't always get a big on court with the players that they have.
Schneider is the only 4.5 American player, whereas the Dutch do have several. Miller. And the scoreless run continues. It's now gone beyond 5 minutes, which is a long time in a game of basketball. Oosterman. And she will go back as well to try and tack on the extra point. And the Americans here are in disarray, 10 points behind. And on this occasion, it doesn't get any worse. Murray with the rebound. Schneider inside, but no, again it is missed. It was Hunter.
We've got to convert those points, even though one of the Dutch players on the far side overcommitted and came out.
Bayer. 14 unanswered points for the Netherlands.
It's all about taking chances. Americans have had their chances down low. They haven't converted, and look what happened to them. The Netherlands have punished them. They're showing them how it's done, knocking them in.
16 points for Hoitzing, 12 points for Bayer. And the American top scorer, or scorers, Miller and Murray, who have only 6. Alana Nichols back on the court for Darlene Hunter. Schneider.
Double team, 3-man.
And there we are.
Great decision by Schneider. Saw the extra man coming, dishes it off to a teammate down low. 2 points for America.
Much needed. Their scoreless streak was over 6 minutes there. And in that time, the Dutch scored 14 of their own. Hoitzing. Bayer. And again. The ball's almost stripped. She gets it this time, but the whistle had already gone. Schneider. Murray. And in the end, the shot doesn't find the basket. And the Dutch come away with the ball. And the ball has been turned over far too often for the Americans' liking.
Another screen for Hoyt-Singh, and she hits it again. That screen has proved very effective for the Dutch when Hoyt-Singh is in the form she is right now.
Here's Schneider. I think the Americans will just be glad to
finish the half.
Yeah, get into the dressing room and regroup here. Shot clock about to expire again. Murray with the overhand. No time to get the ball away. And you can see the animation from the Dutch coach and bench. A 12-point lead. All built up in this second quarter. Hoyt-Singh looking to make 20 points maybe before the end of the quarter. De Rouge. Bayer clutches it through a forest of arms and takes the foul. It's Desi Miller this time.
They have to pull down those rebounds, America. They can't let her just do that, and then she's got a foul and 2 foul shots. This is absolutely killing America.
Well, and that will really hurt them. They've been outscored so far in this quarter, 20 points to 6. And Dave Kiley has a big job coming up in the next 15 minutes or so. Nichols repairing some of the damage. And a timeout called with 9 seconds to play by Gert van der Linden. What's he looking at there, Nate, if you can understand Dutch?
I'm not too good on Dutch, to be honest. But I think that's a tactic. He's seen the cameras around the North Greenwich Arena. He knows we're watching, so I don't think he wants us to know, to be honest.
And that look on Dave Kiley's face says it all. And the Dutch will try and finish off here with more points to end a quarter. They've dominated.
Here's the 3-man press I was talking about earlier, with 2 hanging back. They've adopted that. They've gone for Rebecca Murray, Desi Miller and Schneider, the triple threat of the American side. 2 hanging back. But there's a problem there.
Oh, what about that? What a move that was.
Just that's the wrong choice from America. The 3-2 press doesn't really work for them because the pick, and then that freed up the shot for Bauer. She also had a man on the inside down low. A woman, really, sorry. See, free man, but she takes a shot anyway and hits it on the buzzer. Americans have a lot of talking to do.
They have been comprehensively outplayed in that second quarter. 22 points to 8, they were outscored. After a first quarter in which it was all level at 16-16. And now the Americans' hopes of appearing on the podium here at least look to be in severe danger.
The 6-minute scoreless run absolutely deflated the Americans. Rebecca Murray tried her best to get the open shots, but it was just not falling. Inga Hoyt-Singh, what a player, amazing shooting from her, and Bauer was impressive, as you saw there, last shot of the game, but also a presence down low underneath the basket.
18 points for Hoyt-Singh, 16 points for Bauer, and the Netherlands at the moment on the way to the bronze medal. At half-time they lead 38-24.
There you go. Right. the USA. Representing the USA, we've got Betty and we've got Juliet. Right, very, very simple game. When the music starts, I want you guys to be dancing in the circle around here, giving your best moves, okay? Around the circle, all right? When the music stops, you have to run, find the basketball and score. The last person to score is out. Go on. Right, let's play the music. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Good luck. Where you going, bud? Come on now! Let's cheer up! Come on, lady! Who's going to score now? Go on! Well done. Juliet, come over here. Come over here, Juliet. Come in. Do you want the good news or the bad news? The good news is you managed to come out here onto the North Greenwich Arena and take part. Oh, is that good? You're blessed, you are indeed. The bad news is you're out of this. You know, give everyone applause. Remarkably, that's Jan still in the competition. Right, so we've got three. You're representing the ladies. You ready? She's absolutely represented. We've got Benny. All right, DJ, hit the music. Here we go. The referees, they've just seen the video. I'm going to take you to the crowd. Who do you think should stay in? Should it be Hurtia? Or should we get it? Sorry, Hurtia. Thank you on. Thank you on. Play Armand. Off you go. That was awful, wasn't it? You stole the ball, right? Here we go. Right, so we've got Jerry representing all the fellas in the house. And we've got Penny representing the ladies. Right, keep it, hit it. Here we go. And then we'll see Jerry's a couple of witches. Jerry's sorcery. Why is sorcery? Let's go. There you go, please. You are the winner. You do the tournament. I love them all the way. And I hope that
So the Americans try to get themselves motivated for this second half and haul themselves back into a bronze medal game, which ran away from them rather during that second quarter when they were outscored 22-8 by the Netherlands. Inge Hoytsing and Mariska Beyer have been irresistible at times for them so far. Nate Williams alongside me for the second half, and the Americans have just got to find it within themselves, haven't they?
Well, they've got to find the performance that was in the first quarter where they were blow for blow with keeping up with the Netherlands, but they just let that second quarter slip with a 22.8 deficit, you know, mainly because of players like Inga Hudson and Sherkova who are finding those looks inside, but Inga Hudson had an amazing shooting game, shooting behind that double screen that worked well for the Dutch.
And she's on the ball again at the start of this third quarter. And she doesn't add to her 18 points there.
Finds a gap.
Finds her again. And she scores and will also go to the line, I think.
There's no communication between Hunter and number 8, Natalie Schneider. Yeah, Natalie Schneider. Sorry, I had a lapse of memory there, but yeah, no communication on the other side. Actually, it was probably Nichols who should have been talking to her. She was closest.
And it's 3 points for the Netherlands to open this half. 21 points now for Inga Hoitzing. And the Americans are in danger of losing touch very early on in this game. They need to nail a couple of three-pointers, something like that, to give them some confidence.
Yeah, but the problem about three-pointers is if you miss, it gives the opportunity for the Dutch to get on a fast break, and they don't want that because they've seen Inga Hoitzing up the floor, Sherkova. They always finish at the basket when they get an open layup, particularly in this game.
And the Dutch relentless at the moment, but it's missed on this occasion. And Desi Miller picks up the defensive rebound. Oosterbaan with the shot, which came back off the ring. Schneider. And the shot clock will wind down again here. Murray will not get the shot away.
Good high defense again from the Dutch. They utilised that in the first half, and it worked well for them, creating that 22 points on the board, sorry. And they've used it again to advantage, and the Americans just can't seem to get a solid shot.
12 turnovers in the game so far for the US. Only 2 for the Dutch.
Yeah, but the press is working well. Full court for the Dutch, but Murray gets through.
And she should score here. And the Americans finally have a straw to clutch at in this third quarter.
Yeah, Murray drives through on a nice pick on the far side on the halfway line. That's always the problem with a full court press.
But the Dutch are back again. And at the moment, they're rarely leaving the American key without something. And it was Roos Oosterbaan there. And it's stolen again, but the Americans recover, but they're really rattled here.
Yeah, they don't like the pressure, the Americans. It's not their fault. They throw away the ball again. Dutch forcing the turnover. They've now got an advantage.
Nichols gives the ball away for the 5th time in the game. Bayer, 19-point lead. And we thought this game was going to be close. At the moment, the Dutch are going to have it won before the start of the fourth quarter.
It's all one-way traffic for the Dutch unless the Americans can produce on the offensive end, but in this case they can't. Now the Dutch are away again on the fast break. Inga Hudson very fast in her chair. Nichols comes to cover. She's equally matched for pace.
And they've got time, because of that early pace, to work the ball around the arc, but on this occasion, the Americans come up with the ball. It was Oosterbaan missing. She's got 6 in the game so far. Hoitzing and Bayer, 21 and 18 respectively.
I think they've got the right tactic with Schneider. Keep her out, pick her up early. And the Americans are doing... Great shot there from Murray, but the Americans need to get that pick for Schneider so she can get away, because she's not the most mobile in the chair, I've noticed.
And there's Murray scoring from long range. And those 3 Dutch players I mentioned, Hoitzing, Bayer and Oosterbaan, have scored all their points between them so far.
Yeah, the triple threat offense of the Dutch. working well. Communication, ball movement, shuffling the USA defence.
Oh, what a three-pointer!
What a shot! Wow!
A 20-point lead. And that's the first points that Corver has scored. Right on the buzzer, outside the arc.
Off the glass, clean as you like.
Nichols off balance and she'll get the foul, but 20 points behind now, the Americans. They needed a quick start to this third quarter, and they've been outscored so far 10-4 by the Dutch, and we've only played 4.5 minutes.
You feel that the full court press the Dutch are using, they need to pick early. They need to get Schneider moving again, trying to find her option in the paint. It's all Murray on their side.
Nichols drawing the foul from Visser. Woodson-Smith back in the game for Schneider. And the Americans need both of these. And she's short.
Slaps the ball in frustration. She's not feeling it. Nichols, as you said, turned the ball over many times.
And she's a dual Paralympian, Alana Nichols. She won skiing medals in Vancouver back in 2010. But if she's not careful, she won't be winning anything here in London.
It might be just some players, they have finals day nerves, and a lot. This is not the Alana Nichols I saw a few games ago.
Well, she's not alone in that, it must be said. The Americans as a unit are not functioning here. Hoitzing, yet again.
Time in space, has to get a hand to that shot. She's hot, pressure the shot, otherwise it'll sink, it'll go in. She will not miss if she's had time, space, unchallenged. But they need to get a hand to that shot, definitely.
A half century up for the Netherlands. Midway through the third quarter, Chu. She was fouled there. And it's Visser's third foul. So Chu will go to the free throw line here. And the Americans just need something to happen here. Another one is short. Maybe they need to start just going for a few long ranges to build some confidence and get the crowd going, because at the moment the Americans are very, very quiet.
Like I said, the long range shot is working well for the Dutch, but I don't think it's the right option for the Americans. They need to work with their big forward Schneider. They need to try and help her out. She's definitely struggling out there tonight.
Hoitzing, the gold medal game coming up following this one. At the top of the arc, it misses on this occasion from Bayer. That's gathered in well by Miller. Time to set herself, but it bobbles out.
And now she's held back by the Dutch. She needs help, but she needs to work now, get back in defence, because the Dutch have a man advantage. She eventually does, but that's what happens when you pick back. They've got a free shot in the lane.
Oosterman picking up the rebound, helped out by De Rouge. And the whistle goes. I think two chairs may have become locked together. Two Dutch chairs inside the paint there, so there was just a break in play. And we can see Kurt van der Linden there. He must be delighted with the way his team have taken this to the Americans. Hoitzing going for three.
Oh! Inge Hoitzing. What a player she's been tonight.
26 points now. And everything she is hitting
is dropping straight through the net. Tickles the twine.
Miller, in contrast, she misses but picks up the rebound. But it's a massive lead. A 22-point lead.
I just can't understand. In the previous game I watched USA, they worked the high post between Miller and Murray. I don't understand why they're not utilising that tactic, because they got quite a few baskets from that.
Hoitzing again. And in the end, Osterbarn is pulled up for the offensive foul on Nichols.
Yeah, good charge call by the ref.
And here is Nichols. And the Americans just look stunned.
Certainly deflated.
Here's Murray, and that's a good basket.
That's what they need, a screen. If they're not finding the options inside, they need to find a screen for Murray. A very tight screen so she has time and space, like the Dutch have worked with Inge Hoitzing.
Visser. Hoitzing again. And the Dutch always seem to have a player to pass to. Oysterbarn underneath.
Great work from Oysterbarn. Sets the screen. Her player overcommits. Comes out to the ball to challenge the shot. Gets a clean look at the basket. 2 points. This certainly is an increasing lead.
And this 22-point lead has been built up over less than 2 quarters because it was 16-16 after the first quarter. Nichols hits the underside of the backboard, but the rebound, and it's Rebecca Murray almost playing them on her own at the moment. Yeah, 14 points.
She played a forward role there, then getting the rebounds. That's what Natalie Schneider should be doing, or Desi Miller, in fact. Well, it's because the Dutch are defending excellently, keeping the forwards up high, away from the basket, pushing them out wide.
And there we are again, Oosterbarn. Ten points for her now.
She's certainly lit up the scoreboard with her shooting as well. Like you said, those big 3.
Murray, Woodson-Smith, and the defensive rebound plucked out of the air by Bayer.
She's also had a very solid game, Bayer, particularly in the first quarter.
The Americans down to 45% now for their field goal conversion. 7 from 38, 17 from 38. And the Dutch 24 from 47. And there could be more here. But the foul will be taken by De Rouge. And they've also nailed 2 3-pointers, which really helped to demoralise the opposition. And they both came in quick succession. And everything is dropping for the Dutch.
Yeah, it seems to be their day. They're just working fantastically on both ends of the floor, the Dutch.
Not this time, but it's still a 23-point lead as the Dutch player goes flying there. It was De Rouge. Woodson-Smith has been pulled up for the foul. And the Americans will need a recovery, which at the moment doesn't look to be in the script. Bayer, not now.
Great eagle eye for the top corner of the window from Bayer.
20 points for her, 60 points for the Netherlands. And here's a fast break for Murray. But you cannot make a case for the Americans pulling this round, can you?
No, it's all been Murray. She's been working this team, whereas the Dutch, they've been pressing and they just can't get through. Just can't get through.
Dutch team hit the court quite hard on the far side. But here's Bayer. Defensive rebound from Murray. As the third quarter ticks to a close. Nichols. Chu. Murray. And Nichols unable to get beyond Bayer, but she may head to the line. Called as a block shot in the end, so...
Screen for Murray again.
And she's unable to convert, but the Americans will try and get the ball back, but time was against them. Murray has to go for the shot here. Doesn't have the time, though. And for the second successive quarter, the Dutch have scored 22 points. And they built on their massive lead from half-time. And 3-pointers in quick succession from their captain Korver and Ben Hoitzing have surely taken them towards the bronze medal here. At times, the Americans look tactically impotent in the face of this wall of orange. And Gert van der Linden must just guard against complacency now, because with a 23-point lead, it's in his team's hands.
They have to keep up this tempo, the Dutch. They can't relax now. Pedal to the medal, all the way, last second, final buzzer, keep working. Otherwise, the Americans can capitalise if they relax and be sloppy. But the Americans, the story of this game, they've certainly had the wind knocked out of them early on. There just doesn't seem to be any gusto, any enthusiasm from the Americans.
They came through some big tests earlier on when they beat China 68-65 in a thrilling game. Also, they overcame Canada when Janet McLachlan was in great form. And then, of course, losing to Australia. And you do wonder whether that one-point defeat did give them some sort of psychological damage. The Netherlands didn't really come here widely tipped to finish on the podium. Everyone assumed it would be the usual suspects, the likes of USA, Germany and Australia. Holland were not really talked about, but now, unless there's a massive collapse, they will be on the podium.
Yeah, they work very well. The shooting is fantastic. Well, the Americans are just very static. They can't seem to get a tactic right. Murray shoots a three.
Well, they need more of that right at the start of this quarter.
Maybe a little confidence booster at the start of the final stanza for the Americans.
The Dutch shooting over 50% now. Probably just below 50% following that miss from Visser. But a foul has been called. Rebecca Murray drawing it from Bayer, and that's her first foul, so no immediate danger for the player who scored 20 points already for the Dutch. Murray again. That's obviously a ploy now. As you say, it's a dangerous tactic going for 3-pointers, but they're 20 points down, so...
Yeah, every basket counts if you can add them to the tally. But the higher percentage shot is down low, up into Snyder or Desi Miller. Working fantastically, Desi Miller on Bayer.
Now De Rouge. And that's the defensive rebound picked up by Murray. Should make all the way herself here. Lays it up for Miller. Short again. A lot of American baskets have just hit the outer rim.
They're rushing their shots that way. Maybe Miller's concerned about the 3-second call, you know, but you've just got to throw it up there with as much height and as much backspin as you can. Another free layup for the Dutch.
Visser scores this time. Boonsfield. Miller. Has to take the long way round herself. Shot clock winding down again. Miller, not in time.
It's that half-court press holding the American forwards and certain other players at half-court, forcing them to move the ball around the top, but they can't find that gap. I feel Alana Nichols needs to have her picking eye ready needs to find the angle for the picks to create those gaps.
Bayer. And now Hoitzing. 46 points between those two. De Rouge. And Visser inside. But she's called for the offensive foul. And the ball's turned over, and the Americans call a timeout. And Murray has 19 points, and at times she may have felt she's playing the Dutch on her own. And if they were going to stage a remarkable comeback, it's not started yet.
Working ourselves. Be there for crosses, be there for picks, but get the ball moving. Okay, you got to trust it.
Hey, make the adjustment in eagle, get hard on the inbounder. Okay, just get hard on the inbounder in eagle. All right, make that adjustment.
Big run. Big run right now.
Coach just wants them to be patient with the ball, move it around. Picks make points is what he's saying. You know, he wants to find those picking angles. As I said before, Alana Nichols seems to be a master at it. And it's always a very good thing when you have that sort of player in your team.
The gold medal game coming up in just over an hour's time. You can watch it here with us on Paralympic.org. Germany against the United States. Miller for three!
Yes! Like I said before, Miller has the range. She seemed very confident with that shot there.
Also talk about these games at facebook.com/Paralympic Games or on Twitter @Paralympic. And the Americans have scored 2 successive three-pointers. But the Dutch come back again.
Nice little curl work by Inga Hoitzing and Bayer, confusing the defence. Bayer finds that gap, converts the points while she gets bumped, and she'll go to the line for one.
Which she takes. And that cancels out the earlier three-pointer from Desi Miller. And the clock ticks on for the Americans. Miller. She was eyeing up the three-pointer again. Nichols. Oh, and that's stolen. Nichols has done that so many times in the game. She doesn't like the
ball in her hands, does she? She really doesn't want that ball.
6 turnovers from Alana Nichols so far. Hoitzing. The Dutch have so much pace that when they get to the arc, they've got time to assess the options.
Yeah, well, the quicker you can get that floor, the more time you have to move the ball around, finding the best option. 24 seconds you've got to shoot. If you can get up that floor in 5, that's 20 seconds. That's a lifetime to a basketball player to find the open man.
And the Dutch do turn the ball over, only the 5th time, and look at that, 15 American turnovers. That's potentially 30 points. You think you might get half of those, so if they had, it would be a tighter game.
Yeah.
And here was another opportunity. Oosterbaum picking up the defensive rebound. And the ball's thrown in for the Dutch. Hoitzing. Oh, almost had the offensive rebound there, Bayer.
Stripped away by Miller, but the Dutch regather. Now they have time. They have all the time in the world to set up another chance.
Hoitzing. Underneath is Bayer.
She's been very clinical in the paint, Bayer. Holding the ball up high, unpressured, takes her time. It eventually drops.
And the Dutch now outscoring the Americans in this quarter. A 24-point lead. Rebecca Murray pulled up for the foul on Hoitzing.
Yeah, I think the Americans took too long to get over the halfway line there. 8-second violation, ball back to the Dutch.
And that's tribute to the Dutch pressure.
Which has been key in this game. This is why the lead is so huge.
Hoitzing again. Visser. Hoitzing now has plenty of time. And they were starting inside the American key.
Good pick from Bayer. Creates the space. Good look from Inga Hoitzing. What an assist at the top of the key.
Oysterbahn. And it's all over. A 26-point lead now. And it's turning into a thrashing for the Americans.
Yeah, they've been totally shocked in this game. I think the Dutch have done their homework when they faced the Canadians. They didn't like the pressure when they went 11 points down in the first, and they've kept up that pressure, and that's why the lead is built to such a huge margin.
And now Visser drawing a foul from Binsfield.
Poor chair control from Desi Miller, called for the charge. Dutch on the attack again, has a screen, doesn't want it.
Oysterbahn again.
Free but doesn't make it, but she's getting that angle at the top of the key every time. Nobody's covering it. There needs to be better communication from whoever's down low.
The US have only managed 2 3-pointers so far, until Nichols finds the basket, but too little too late.
Yeah, the Dutch won't be troubled by that. There's always going to be a few free shots for the Americans, but Dutch looking very comfortable now.
Hoitzing. And the ball was not gathered cleanly there by De Rouge. And the Americans will get the ball back. Good pressure there from Murray. Hoitzing charged with the turnover. But the game is over as a contest. A bronze medal match which many people thought will be taken by the Americans, or would at least be a close run thriller, has been a procession for the Dutch so far. The Dutch player goes tumbling. Woodson Smith finds the basket. And Poist has drawn the foul.
They're going to be looking for a shot clock reset. Sorry.
I don't get it though. Nichols. And the shot clock about to expire. Beyond Holloman.
Sloppy inside pass.
7th time Alana Nichols has turned the ball over. Hoitzing. De Rouge. The ball's up there to fight, and Nichols does recover her error. But it burns more time on the clock. And here's Desi Miller.
Confident shot from Miller, despite knowing that this game may be all over for the Americans. Actually, it probably is all over for the Americans. There's simply no optimism left.
Many thanks to this lady, Hoitzing. Defensive rebound from Woodson Smith. And the team that are so used to picking up gold will not be on the podium at all this time. Holland are going to pick up their first medal in 16 years and the 3rd bronze medal in their nation's history.
And I heard the coaches are getting medals as well, so Gert van der Linden will add a bronze medal as a coach to his players' medal from... he finished 4th in the bronze medal final of 2004, but Gert van der Linden does have an impressive collection of trophies and medals, so he will add one more as a coach.
And on this show, it's fully deserved. Tactically, his team have been spot on. And they rack up 70 points plus now. Bayer becomes their top scorer. 27 points. Sarah Castle coming back into the game. She's another dual Paralympian. She was a medal winner as a swimmer in Sydney 2000 for America. And a timeout called by the Dutch. And this is basically to ask the players what will they do with their medals. And you look at the Americans, from the moment they lost to the Germans, that really showed there was fallibility in their team, wasn't it? And that was a big game for Germany because the Americans have been their nemesis, beating them in both at the Paralympic and the World Championship final, but that they deserved to win that game. And even though they had a comfortable win over Mexico, which you would anticipate, and they overcame the Chinese and the Canadians, that just... From that moment on, they weren't invincible.
Yeah, they had a very good preliminary round, the Americans, but as soon as they met the Germans, I think the Germans have had a fantastic tournament, particularly with players like Annika Zayn. She's been unbelievable on scoring and creating those chances. But the Americans, they've just had the wind knocked out of them. The Dutch have taken it to them, pressured them early on, full court press. The game plan was absolutely right from the start, and it's clearly shown in the final score.
And the Dutch, of course, so close to beating the Germans, losing by 3 points in the semi-final last night. And Australia, the only side to beat them in the group stage, the team which we'll see on court next in around 50 minutes' time here on Paralympic.org against Germany in the gold medal game. And the bronze medal is staying here in Europe. That really sums up the American performance. Sarah Castle with a pass straight out of play. And the Dutch won't receive their medal for about 3 hours until the gold medal game has been finished. But I'm sure they'll have time to celebrate in the meantime. Petra Garnier coming into the game for them. And there she is. Has it stripped by Castle. Three-pointer from the captain. No, short this time. And the Dutch now beginning to give some of their squad players a taste of the court. Saskia Pronk now coming on for Roos Oosterbaan, who scored 12 points of her own tonight. And there is Pronk. Well, that's Van Bergen, who's also come into the game with the heavily tattooed arm, wearing number 13.
Very colourful.
And Van Bergen was a pole vaulter before a road accident ended that particular part of her sporting career. There's Van Bergen. And the Americans throughout the last 3 quarters, of course, it was level in the first quarter, but they've got nothing going at all. They've only scored 31 points in 3 quarters of wheelchair basketball. In that time, the Dutch have scored 55. And the reigning champions will not even be on the podium here. The Dutch can celebrate a bronze medal, their first Paralympic success in 16 years, and it is thoroughly deserved. They have dismantled the United States of America here to win 71-47. Tears among the players and disbelief from the Americans, who came into this tournament as gold medal favourites and will finish 4th, which for them is nowhere.
No, they'll be disappointed with the performance in this game in particular. The pressure, they couldn't deal with the pressure. The pressure was absolutely key. They put a full court press on. The halfway, everyone was on the halfway. Nobody could get through. Inga Hoytman, what a player. She's been dishing the ball out. She's been shooting fantastically, and also part of a triple threat with Oysterban and Cher Koiva running the floor. You can tell their experience. It's amazing for the Dutch. I mean, to see the Americans knocked off the podium completely is a complete shock. I mean, the second quarter, 22 points to 8 after being level. That was a real wake up for them. You know, these girls mean business, and they've certainly done business tonight.
They've outplayed the Americans in every single facet of the game. The Americans will look at the stat sheet, and it will take them a long time to recover from this. But it's all about a wall of orange here inside the North Greenwich Arena.
And they will agonize. They'll want their hands on that gold medal. They'll have to watch the final now, and they just want that round their neck. They want to be alongside whoever wins the final in a couple of moments' time.
Well, they've got a 3-hour wait before the medal ceremony. The final doesn't start for around 45 minutes. We'll bring that to you live here on Paralympic.org as well. But it's a Paralympic success for Gert van der Linden as a coach. And it's a first medal for all of these players who, of course, weren't around in 1996.
No. Gert van der Linden obviously worked hard with it, training camps, tournaments, like pre-warm-up tournaments. Every team has gone through all that, but you can tell the tactical genius of Gert van der Linden, the experience as a player. He's definitely transitioned as a brilliant coach.
Well, these are moments that these players will remember for the rest of their lives.
It's always nice to see a different team on the podium. Nobody likes teams that really dominate.
Well, the USA and Germany and Australia were the podium in 2008. But the USA are going home with only memories here from London 2012. They were outshot, out-defended, out-fought.
Completely outplayed on both ends of the floor. Kept Natalie Schneider quiet, kept Desi Miller quiet. I think that was the key. Defending high, pressuring, hands in the face on the shot, and then working that double screen that Inga Hoytman got so many of her points from. But also when she saw Oysterban free at the top, dish to her, she was confident in the paint tonight, and that's what resulted in a bronze medal round the Dutch necks.
Well, they're going to celebrate now with their supporters here inside the North Greenwich Arena. The Americans have long departed the scene. And they'll be back on the court later on this evening to receive their bronze medals.
Sit down.
Barbara van Bergen there, just celebrating with some family and friends. And when they came into this game, Dave Kiley's team, the Americans were favourites. But Gert van den Linden marshalled his team superbly and gave those fans so much to shout about. 19 points for Rebecca Murray. She did all she could, but she lacked support. And Dutch fans of all ages able to celebrate a huge victory. 71-47 the final score. And the celebrations all orange at the end. So the Dutch take the bronze medal in 45 minutes. It's the final, Germany against USA.
important that every group of people are part of that same competitive environment.
It's a tough job that the classifiers have to put people in different categories, but I think it does definitely get fair for everybody, the mistakes they make there. Unfortunately, my classification between the visual and pure blind section is quite easy because we're all just lumped in together for cycling anyway, so it's very straightforward for my category.
And it's fair, yeah, and that's what it is. That's why we've got classifications, because there's different abilities, different disabilities, and people need to really compete against the same ability, but then it's not.
We might go a bit further round, might we? Where are they? Where's the Germans? Where is the German team base? There. Is that them there?
I think the classification systems are great. I can see that people do get a bit confused.
In the Paralympic Games, the classification system is essential, as it defines which athletes can compete in which sports. Athletes are divided into classes, based on how their impairments affect them on the field of play, in order to allow fair competition. If you're new to classification, it can help to think of why men almost always compete against men, and women almost always compete against women. Or think of it in similar terms to how boxing at the Olympic Games works, where athletes compete in different weight categories, like flyweight or heavyweight. As each sport at the Paralympic Games requires different skills and competencies, the impact of impairments on the performance of the athletes varies. That's why each sport has its own unique classification rules. Some sports feature a wide variety of impairments. In both athletics and swimming, athletes with physical, visual and intellectual impairments compete. Other sports feature fewer types of impairment. For example, only athletes with a visual impairment take part in judo and five-a-side football at the Games. Athletics has the most number of classes due to the number of different running, jumping, and throwing events, and the wide variety of athletes that can compete in the sport. In contrast, shooting only has 2 classes. Each athlete competing at the Paralympic Games has already gone through an evaluation to determine their class. This evaluation is conducted by authorized technical officials called classifiers, who are appointed by the International Federation for that sport. This is a long-term, ongoing process which takes place at all major events, before and during competition. It ensures that the athletes are confident they are competing against each other on a level playing field. Classification won't get in the way of your enjoyment as a spectator, and will also help you further appreciate the ability and the performance of the athletes. The Paralympics is not about the impairments. It's all about elite sport. Let the Games begin.
just under 21 minutes to go before the final. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at the big screen. We've got a video that will show you Germany's road to the final tonight.
In a repeat of the 2008 Beijing final, Germany faced USA in Game 1 of their 2012 medal quest. But on this occasion, it was the Germans who won the day 54-48. Marina Roman's 15 points and 10 rebounds grabbed the advantage in a game that changed hands 8 times. Game 2 was a formality as Germany held the advantage early and gradually edged away from France. Roman was top scorer again with 23, Germany running out 76-32 winners. The Paralympics silver medalists then stacked their advantage on China for 3 quarters at least. With Germany 50-35 up, China all back. But Germany clung on thanks to Escher Schuman's 23 points and continued their 100% run 56-50. The straight run of group meet was never in doubt versus Mexico in Game 4. Germany's Marie Gauland backing 18 for Germany to storm clear 68-28 and line up a quarter-final versus Great Britain. This was a tense affair. Great Britain provided one of the defensive performances of the competition to cause panic in the German offense. It was the efficiency of Akasen at 67% from field goals and netted 25 points to seal the win 55-44. Germany will need to sweat yet again in the semi-final as the Netherlands, helped by the Hoop team's 14 points, pushed them to their limit. With 3 throws extending the lead as the Germans won 41-46. Marina Roman's game high 20 points edging them over the line to put their second Paralympic final on the spin. At final, they will be determined to dominate in London.
So there you go, that was Germany's road to the final. We're going to have a look at Australia's road to the final a bit later on. But, ladies and gentlemen, in the meantime, the games this summer are capturing the imagination not only up here in Britain or in Europe, but all around the world. It's just not us mere mortals, it's all the celebrities as well. So let's have a listen now, and from some athletes and celebrities, and then let's understand exactly what the games meant today.
Just want to focus
Now, guys and girls, let's meet the players from both teams, starting with Germany. Number 4, Mareike Adelman. 5, Joanna Bennett. 6, Britt Tillman. 7, Adina Muller. 8, Annika Sayer. 9, Maria Kuhn. 10, Geisha Schulman. 11, Maya Lindholm. 12, Anna Malou. 13, Anne-Chris Liesman. 14, Captain Marina Rowan. And 15, Heidi Friedrich. The coach is Holger Friedrich. And the team from Austria. Number 4, Sarah Vinci. 5, Cody Crispin. 6, Anne Their coach, John Triscari. Ladies and gentlemen, as is customary, will those who are able please stand for the national anthem of Germany.